Courtney Martin, one of the most promising prospects coming out of Australia. Thank you so much for your time. How you doing today?
Yeah, doing great today. Thanks for that. It's great to talk to you.
Good, good. Now you started MMA, or you started fighting, actually fighting MMA 18 months ago, and now you have a record of 8-1. You have some titles. Talk about your career so far. Like, did you expect to be at this point in 18 months?
Not at all. No, no way. It's been a bit of a whirlwind. I didn't expect it all to be here. I didn't really have like any set goals in mind. It was more let's just keep fighting, see what happens, keep enjoying it, and here we are. So it's a bit mind blowing. Never in a million years would I have thought that I'd be at this point, but I don't regret anything, and it's been amazing.
Without having any set goals, so as you fight, one by one, every fight goes by, where did you find the point where, like, oh, maybe I need to just continue this, like, further and further, because sometimes people fight a couple of amateur fights and they're like, oh, that's good enough. When did you decide, like, I'm gonna continue this?
I'm pretty sure, like, after my first fight, it was like, all right, well, what's next? And then after that, it was like, what's next? It was pretty much one thing after the other, like taking it pretty much every fight as it comes, and it's just gotten me to this point. So I don't really want to stop. The momentum's been kind of increasing, and it's been great.
You have a few titles. Like, talk about the first one you snatched up.
So the first title I got was the Pastor Hex flyweight title, amateur female. It was pretty insane, even just going up to that. I never thought that I'd ever go for a title. And then next thing, they asked if I wanted to go for it, and I'm not one to turn down a fight. So we flew to Melbourne, had a really decent fight camp before that, and ended up going all 5 rounds and got the unanimous decision. And yeah, it was pretty mind blowing at the time. I think that was my 5th MMA fight, so I didn't expect to be up for a title at that point, but it just made me realize that I've got some decent skills, and I've got enough to kind of stand and trade with some of the best girls in Australia. So that was really, it was really humbling. It was great.
Going into that fight, did you expect to go all 5 rounds, or were you expecting to get in there and get it over fast? Like, I need to get this over quick.
No, I really like going all 5 rounds. I had trained in preparation to be ready for the 5 rounds, and I found that by the third round, I'm kind of finally switched on, and I was like, yeah, this is it, I'm ready. And by that point, I find my opponents start to get a little bit gassed inside, and that's when I kind of shine, is towards the later rounds. So that was really good. I much preferred having the 5 rounds instead of 3.
Pretty sure that fight has prepared you for that next step, which was the Gamma in Singapore, right? Getting that experience, it must have been very beneficial for you.
Yeah. So Gamma was just a whole nother level. That was a complete separate experience of itself. So we trained specifically, not knowing how many fights in a day I was going to get. So conditioning was like really a big component in regards to that. And we went in with the mindset that, we had no idea how many girls were going to be in my division. We didn't know, how far I was going to progress. So it was pretty much, let's think of the worst case scenario, which would be, three fights per day. So six fights in total. So physically we prepared for that. Ended up that I fought once on the first day and twice on the second day. But I think just the mental preparation, going in thinking that, I'm going to be exhausted, I'm going to be tired, but I got to push through, really, really helped. So that was good.
The first day you fought once, second day you fought twice. How did you handle the ups and downs of it? Must have been very mentally draining.
Yeah, yeah. Especially after the first fight on the second day, you just have that dump where you're like, right, my fight's over. I just want to go nap somewhere. That would be great. But you kind of can't. You got to cool down. Then you got to refuel, warm up again, get prepared to go in again. But basically, I went in with the game plan of finishing as many fights as quickly as possible. So my first two fights on the first day and the second day, I won in the second round pretty early on. So I didn't take too much damage. I didn't really kind of push myself too hard, so I wasn't too wrecked. And then my final fight was a brawl. It was a war. But I think because we played it smart in the first two fights, I was ready for that. Like, I was prepared. So it worked out well. I think it could have gone very differently. And I think if those first couple of fights had been a bit more draining, it would have been tougher. But we stuck to the game plan and it worked well.
Yeah, it definitely worked out well. You became a Gamma World Champion. You get a contract. You have your contract with one championship now. So the future for you is professional, or are you going to fight a couple more times amateur? What's going on with that?
So we're still waiting for the contract to come through with one, but pretty much from now on it's pro all the way, which is terrifying and exciting and just full of emotions in itself. But yeah, it looks like from here on out, my amateur career is done and we're looking at pro.
That Singapore experience was last November. So have you been continuing just training and just being ready for any opportunity that's going to come up?
Yeah, basically. I think we had a couple of weeks off over Christmas to celebrate, but as soon as New Year hit, it was straight back into the office and haven't kind of stopped since. So just really working on, whilst we've got no fights confirmed, just learning new things, because you find in fight camp, you're so focused on your game plan and tightening up what you already have that you don't learn a lot of new stuff. So really kind of focusing on some new skills and just working a lot of new things that hopefully we'll be able to incorporate nicely.
If you could describe yourself to somebody that has not watched you fight, what would you describe your style as?
Stubborn. I like to put the pressure on a little bit. So striking wise, I like playing my distance, but then I really like using pressure and clinch. And if I could take it to the ground, that's where I'm comfortable. But I think if Gamma's taught me anything, is that I definitely describe my style as stubborn. I don't like to give up easy.
What weight class are you going to move on with? Are you going to move on as a flyweight, maybe atom weight, straw weight, bantamweight? What's going on with the weight?
I'm looking to go into flyweight, so 56.7. I think one counts that as straw weight. So that's where I'm looking to sit. I know there's lots of girls to atom weight at one, but hopefully the straw weight division can kind of increase a little bit. So that'd be good.
You are training out of M1FC under Stephen Walton. Talk about your coach and the team around you and how they have molded you into who you are today.
So I train under Stephen Walton, and Mac1's just like, it's a big family. Like, there's a great environment there. It's really open and welcoming and just warm, and I've got a great fight team around me that supports me and we support them. We've got a few boys fighting on Eternal in 2 weeks' time, so we're getting them ready. But honestly, I couldn't think of going to any other gym. It's the best place. It's where I feel at home. And Steve's great. He really supports me and pushes me a lot. And not only does he like tailor training to each of his fighters individually, he helps them like mentally prep as well, making sure like the whole game is looked after. I really couldn't ask for a better coach. He's been so supportive and great throughout this whole process.
Definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to you making your professional debut wherever it is. It could be under one championship, who knows? But even could it be with One Warrior Series? Do you know?
I think with this contract that's come through, it's just straight into one. It's not through One Warrior Series. Having said that, One Warrior Series has some great talent coming through, especially in the female division. So that's definitely the promotion to watch as well.
Lots of Australians in One Warrior Series right now, so it's exciting
Yeah.
times for Australian MMA. Thank you, Courtney, for the time, and hopefully we can do this again before you make your debut.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.